You're now tuned in to The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley, where everyday conversations take an unexpected turn. Entrepreneur, artist, author, and truth seeker, Corey Wesley is here to challenge the way we think, question the norms, and bring fresh perspectives to life, business, and beyond. With unfiltered discussions, special guests, and real talk, get ready for a show that's bold, insightful, and always a little twisted. Buckle up, because the truth isn't always what it seems. And now, here's your host, Corey Wesley. Well, welcome to another episode of The Twisted Truth with me, Corey Wesley. What's going on, everybody? Happy daylight savings time. It's a Monday. Drinking out of my Twisted Truth. I'm drinking water. Nothing's in here. But what's up today? Hopefully you are having a great and blessed day. So today's topic or conversation is, a friend of mine, I was on the phone with him. I called him up to see what he was up to. And I said, "What's up? What you doing?" He said, "Nothing." Are we really ever doing nothing? Or is it just a mindset that keeps us from progress? And then so what being the smart ass that I am, I was like, "How are you doing nothing? Aren't you breathing? Are you watching TV? Are you washing clothes? Are you just putzing around the house? I know you're doing something because you can't be doing nothing. You're breathing. So you're doing something, right?" And so I started to think about this whole concept of doing nothing and how it equates to busyness, but not doing anything. And, sometimes doing nothing without a purpose is an issue. And does nothing really mean inactivity, or does it mean unintentional activities like, TV, scrolling through social media, just lying around? Because I was like, I know our thoughts are powerful. And I think when we get into a mindset of doing nothing, and I say this because a lot of my friends are dreamers, they're not doers, and they want these big dreams. And I love having big dreams. I have huge dreams. However, you have to put your dreams in motion. And I think our thought process is what hinders a lot of us from getting up and doing something. If you think it, you can achieve it. And I do believe that. I mean, everything from my art to my home decor. I dreamt it, I believed it, and it came to fruition. Now, it didn't come to fruition when I wanted it to. But when someone calls me and says, or they ask me what I'm up to, I'm like, "Hey, I'm watching some TV. What's up with you?" Or I'm working on a podcast, or I'm reading. I'm doing something, right? So in my mindset, I'm always being productive, even when I'm having what I would say technically a lazy day. But I was starting to wonder. I was like, my big dreamer friends, doing nothing, because obviously when I call them, they're like, "Nothing, I'm just laying around." But then they want to have all these big dreams, but then they're saying they don't have enough time in their schedule to follow their dreams, or they don't have enough time in their schedule to do things. And that kind of goes back to my other podcast, "I'm too busy," which as you probably already know, I don't like when people say, "I'm too busy." Are you the president of the United States? And let's not even talk about him. But anyway, with that being said, I think having that mindset, saying, or having the thought that I'm not doing anything, translates to when you want a goal that seems very impossible to achieve. when you're laying around doing nothing, you could be doing one or two steps towards that. I always say you don't have to do, uh, obviously, you have to crawl before you can walk, walk before you can run, run before you can fly. I always think that you have to start somewhere, right? So I always say when someone says, "Oh, I'm doing nothing," I'm like, "But don't you want to have a company or don't you want a podcast?" Even if it's 30 minutes of your day, and I understand we have a lot going on. I have a mother in a nursing home. I repeat that constantly. I do just so many things. I always say I run circles around people. I do a podcast. I clean my house. I also get up early in the morning. Not today, I didn't. Let me tell you. I did a gummy last night. It was a gummy to relax and be happy. I was in the house dancing around, feeling so happy, but then I felt like I had a hangover this morning. I don't regret it, but it's not something I'm going to do all the time. I should do that on a Saturday, not a Sunday, when it's going to be Monday the next day. I've learned my lesson. But getting back to what I was saying, I have the mindset that I'm always doing something productive. So when someone calls me, I always say the things that I'm doing. I don't talk about what I want to do because I always say what you want is not really going to be what you want doesn't equate to anything. You have to be doing something for it to develop. So when we have this notion in our minds and in our vocabulary that we're doing nothing, I think it translates into our mindset when we want to tackle things that are important to us or that seem really hard, like starting a business, starting a podcast, you know, um, there's all kinds of things and technology out there that truly, truly can actually help you create this step by step. I think a lot of people are intimidated with everybody knows the term ChatGPT or AI technology. If you're intimidated by doing creating your dream or what steps should you take, now you don't even have Google anymore. You have ChatGPT that will go into the world, internet, pull that data real quick, give you a few steps, and you can start tomorrow on doing your dream, how to start a podcast. I didn't know how to start a podcast. I went into ChatGPT. How do I start a podcast? What services do people use for a podcast? How do you create a podcast website? And all these things start popping up. And I have to be honest with you. I'm always doing something. I'm doing something productive. Even in that 10 minutes, and ChatGPT will do that for you in seconds. So nowadays, you cannot say, I'm not doing nothing because especially if you have dreams or you want to achieve something or you want to work towards something. I know a lot of people, because I'm one, I would love to go back to school for some more teaching. I'm a certificate holding guy. I have certificates because I love learning. So I take a course here or there and I get a certificate in that thing, and that's great and it's good on your resume. But it's just because I'm always busy. I have a podcast. I have my online art. I have an Etsy store. I had music out. I used to write for my own online magazine. I have written for Brown Style magazine as a contributor here and there. I am always doing something. I also have my own responsibilities personally. I have to see my mom. Luckily she's 3 blocks away, so I can dash out the house real quick because I work from home. I'm very fortunate in that regard. I can dash out, check on her during what I consider my lunch hour. Hey mom, check on her. Blah, 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 blah. Gotta go. See you later. But at least I have that. I make sure I'm in contact with um, John and my ride or die, and I make sure he's okay. And then I do a couple of texting of people because this year for me, I wanted to be a better son and a better friend. Those are my goals. And actually, I need to add another one. I want to be a great business person. Um, and what that means is obviously creating your not a wish list. Don't make it a wish list. Make it a I'm going to do this list. So if you have a I'm going to do this list, you can't say I'm not doing nothing. Even when you say, and if you think about it, have you said in the past, I'm not doing nothing? Stop saying that because you are doing something. And if you have some goals, writing a book, starting a podcast, join a gym, there is enough time in a day for you to do it. You just have to project management. You have to basically delegate when you need to. You need to really manage your time as best as your ability. I'm still learning. I am not going to sit here and preach that I know time management because I suck at it, because that's why I still have laundry sitting in the closet, piling and piling and piling. I hate doing laundry, don't you? See, I could be doing something, but I'm doing a podcast right now and trying my hardest to drink more water. They say, have you heard of this thing? And I know I'm on changing the subject real quick, but have you heard of this thing where you meditate with water because water is healing and it vibrates, has a higher vibration? And I pray over my water, and you're supposed to feel it. It's mindful thinking. So basically, that's a great segue back to the topic, mindful thinking. That's truly what I'm trying to bring to the forefront. That the twisted truth here is that you're always doing something, and our words are power. So stop saying, I'm not doing nothing, because you are doing something, even if it's, I'm breathing, or, sometimes it's, I'm, I'm sitting here feeling depressed and lonely. That is conversation. And that lets people know where you are in your space, your headspace. It's all about a mindset. When we cultivate, and when people say, oh, you gotta manifest, you gotta manifest, you gotta manifest, I used to say that too. And I believe in manifestation, don't get me wrong. I'm not mocking it or saying it doesn't exist, because it really does exist. Right behind me, it does exist. However, you have to put action behind your manifestation. You have to have great positivity, you have to have intent, you have to not say, I'm not doing nothing. Look at your space and your calendar and your time and budget out. Even if you have to, like, budget time to meet a friend. Say, okay, I'm going to meet for 2 hours. I'm going to have 2 cocktails. I'm going to have a kiki, but then I'm going to go and do the gym for 30 minutes, or I'm going to write my script on the train. Take out your phone, start doing it. You are always having time to do it. And yes, sometimes you need to decompress. Don't get me wrong. I used to ride that dang subway, and sometimes after work, and then you got to deal with the masses. You don't want to do no stuff. You just want to kind of, and again, not do nothing, but relax, meditate, do self-caring as you are on your way home, that you are doing something mentally. You're having a thought process of positivity, that you're thinking about, how can I do something productive? I always say there's time to do everything, to follow your dreams. You have the time. It's also in your words, in your mindset of, if you laying around doing nothing and saying that, I think that's going to always be the case in all kinds of scenarios. Now, yes, like I said, there's times to unwind, to relax, to just kind of like take a self-care moment. That's not doing nothing. And when we're sitting at home and maybe you're lounging, watching television, Are you meditating? Are you doing a facial? Are you washing your clothes? No, I'm not, but I'm going to because we need underwear. You need clean underwear. Please always wear clean underwear in the street. Because my mother always said, and my grandmother said, you never know when something might happen. You might have to go to the hospital or something, and you got dirty underwear on. That's a problem. So anyway, there is always something to do, and you have enough time. And if you feel like you don't have enough time, it's time management. And I always refer back to Funky Dineva because he said a long time ago, or he said when he pledged, that he learned one thing from pledging, that there is enough time in the day because you can borrow time from your sleep, because you will have enough time to sleep. And you know what I mean. Don't want to be morbid, but you will have enough time. So, you know, in essence here, the twisted truth here is your goals, your dreams, your life is worth your time, your investment. You are always doing something productive. I always end with my friends, if they say they're going to do something for the day, whatever I say, or they say good morning, I say, have a great day and have a productive day. What that means is that I want them to go after their dreams, do what they need to do, even if it's 30 minutes a day that you set aside to make a phone call, to send an email, to write something down for your book or your short story or your movie idea or your podcast idea, or you use ChatGPT for 30 minutes to say, hey, can you give me a breakdown of all the, how to start a podcast, how to start a business? What are the first steps? And try to tackle some of those things during the day or during the night or right before you go to bed, something that's positive and productive. And when your friends call you and they say, what you doing? You should be motivating them as well. You don't want to just say, I'm doing nothing, because I think people who just say nothing, I'm not doing nothing all day, they doing nothing. And then what that does for the person that is trying to move forward, it pulls them back, because friends will feel, not that I'm not talking about jealousy, but friends who are doing nothing, what happens is if their other friend is always doing something, then they start judging, looking at their own lives and start feeling worse. Or they start, and I think it's just a human nature experience that we then compare ourselves. That's why social media sometimes isn't always great, because we end up comparing ourselves to others. And that's why I always say, don't say you're doing nothing, because when your friend gives you a rundown of all that they did, they went out to eat, they went to dinner, and you don't feel like you are a part of it. Maybe you can't afford to do that right now, or there are things you can do for free in New York or wherever. Hopefully wherever you are, you can go for a walk, you can pray, you can meditate, you can do a whole bunch of things. Go to the store. If you can't financially afford certain things, just go to a dollar store and just buy a little knickknack or something and put that in the house and just slowly do something. But this idea of I'm not doing nothing has to just, I think, erase it. I think just from a motivational standpoint, it's not good for your mindset and your psyche to say you're not doing anything, because you are doing something. And also, I feel like you're worth more. So your life is so full that you are always doing something. Even if you say, I'm breathing, I'm here, I'm doing some self-care. But when you say you're doing self-care, and I always say, don't, if you're sitting at home watching TV all day long, you know what those people are doing? They are working. They are getting paid. And while you sitting there watching them get paid, for you to sit there, and the commercials are getting paid, because the network is getting paid from the commercials. The people who are on the screen are getting paid. And you sitting there watching them doing what? I can't hear you. What? Oh, you're doing nothing. See what my point? You can always do something. Okay? And don't let that idiot, as my grandmother used to say, don't let that idiot box stop you from your dreams. I don't watch that much TV. I watch a lot of YouTube. I will say that. It's on the background. I might stop for a few minutes and watch something. That's why I like YouTube, because it's in segments. It's 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It ain't a lot of my time sitting here for hours watching a commercial, then watching a segment, watching another commercial. See, I watch YouTube, and yes, YouTube has commercials because people got to get paid. But and that's why people have podcasts. And that's why people have all these things. And y'all sitting there saying y'all doing nothing. Really? But remember, and I hope the one thing you walk away with is the thought process that while you watching TV or what you watching the idiot box, all those folks, from the commercials to everything you see, they getting paid. They're working. And you sitting there doing nothing, watching them. They doing something while you do nothing. See, got my point. Well, anyway, thank you for watching another or listening to another episode of The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley. As I always end a segment, remember to stay blessed, because you are already blessed. And what else do I say? Trust yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. Have a great day wherever you are. Remember to stay blessed and be productive. Ciao. Until next time, be safe, everyone. That's a wrap for this episode of The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with someone who needs a fresh perspective. Remember to stay curious, stay bold, and always remember this: the truth isn't always what it seems. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep twisting the truth. See you soon.